One moment. Ready. Okay, just give me a second, Marla. I think I was like this before. Yeah, this works well. And I know my mic is on. Hello, everyone who joins us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. One moment. All right.
Alan, do you feel like at about 6, 7, 8?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you like to hear 00101? No. I forgot my numbers already. 0010110.
0010110.
Does that help you get to another dimension?
Yes.
Okay. There was a question about Pope Francis that came up. Why doesn't he allow people, visitors, to kiss his papal ring? They kiss his hand, but he turns his hand where they can't kiss the papal ring. Why is he doing that?
Are you asking, is there some sort of enormous symbolic?
Yes. Or
One
secret?
One moment. Ah, one moment. One moment. Kissing the ring of the Pope?
Correct.
One moment. Yes. All right, the idea is there are only a few allowed to kiss the ring of the Pope.
Who are they?
They are fellow beings of his.
In the so-called Illuminati?
Yes. In the way that you mean, yes.
Are there any secrets that humanity needs to know about Pope Francis right now in this timeline?
Other than remember, he is a human being, as you are all human beings. Other than that, other than this simple truth for him to speak, this is the only request of him. Simply tell the people you are a human being like any other human being. You have no special powers, magic. You have no special words. You have no particularly special message. You are human. You are a human being. You were not chosen by God. Not even close.
I don't understand that phrase. Chosen by God. No.
I.e., to be the Pope.
He was not chosen by God.
There is no need for a Pope. The entire process started by the Catholic Church, Roman Catholic Church, one moment. Church of England, one moment. Many churches which popped up after the idea of Jesus' death. Not right away. A couple hundred years. 300, 500 AD. The idea of churches began, in a manner of speaking. But this was not the intention. This is not why he came to the planet, so to speak. He did not come to start a church. He came to say, be like me. You are like me. We are the same, you and I. Does this help?
Yes.
Did you have another question?
What is the importance of the papal ring?
What is the importance of the papal ring?
Yeah, to the Pope. What is the importance of that ring?
It signifies power, control, has a vibration, has a signature vibration, as all things do. But it's largely a symbol of control and power. Does this make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Does he still wear the ring today, March 31st?
Do you mean symbolically or literally?
Literally?
Literally.
Is the papal ring still on his finger?
One moment. One moment. It would seem more likely no to the question. Proceed.
Why would the papal ring not be on his finger?
He's been removed from power. The idea of power. One moment. Does this help?
Who's wearing the ring now?
In the way that you mean, no one necessarily. No one necessarily. A collection of 3, 2, 3. A small board has been put in place. 3 bishops, cardinals, higher ranking, shall we say, beings, officials with the Vatican have been put in his place to sort of oversee things for now. They know a transition, an enormous shift is coming.
When will that be announced to the public?
That the Pope is out of power?
That's correct.
One moment. It's most likely you may see him, shall we say, die in the near future. This is very possible. One moment. Or the idea of creating the idea of a death. Excuse me, one moment. Creating the idea of a death when in fact he may or may not actually die. Does this make sense?
Yes.
One moment. This is one of the high probabilities. One moment. It's also possible he could be arrested and charged with the idea of crimes related to, shall we say, acts against humanity. Does this make sense?
It does. Is he at Gitmo?
One moment. What's his name?
Pope Francis, born December 17th, 1936.
Pope Francis, December 17th, 1936.
In Argentina.
One moment. Pope Francis, we have an image. One moment. Holding some energy, relax. Could you repeat the date of birth?
December 17th, 1936.
December 17th, 1936. Pope Francis, Argentina. One moment. All right, we have the energy. Proceed with the question.
When are they going to let humanity know he is not in the seat of the Pope right now?
Well, this may or may not sort of come to the light, come to the mainstream, although right now the likelihood seems very strong. Over 90%, 91, 92, 90, low 90s. One moment. One moment. It does seem much more likely than not that it will come to the mainstream. It will be worldwide known. One moment. However, this is not the only possible future timeline. We believe we mentioned another one a moment ago where he may or may not die of an illness. One moment. One moment. And upon his death, it will be announced that he is out of power because he is what you call dead, and the board of, shall we say, three or four, a few, shall we say, officials with the church will be announced as the temporary placeholders. And there may be talk of electing another pope. May or may not be talk of this.
Is his death in this timeline that you're speaking of natural?
Most likely not.
Lethal injection?
Possibly. Possible. Very possible. One moment.
Or his crimes against humanity?
Yes. One moment. This is a possible, maybe not the most probable. However, this is a possible future timeline. Did you have another question?
Well, if he does not die of natural causes, do you know what?
He will likely be in prison. He will likely be in the idea of a prison, cage, a jail. One moment. One moment. If he should he continue to stay alive in the idea of enough co-creating consciousnesses to experience that timeline, that is a very real possibility. There's a real possibility that he could be, shall we say,
because his energy, even behind the cell, can be pure through the grace of Jesus. True?
yes, in the way that you mean. Yes.
Well, if he is alive, will he be in Italy?
Most likely not. In fact, he may not be there now. One moment. One moment. Is it relevant, his location at this time? One moment.
No, not
All
really.
right. He may or may not be alive at this moment. One moment. One possible future timeline is that he is already, shall we say, removed. The idea of his soul leaving his body and departing. This is one possible future timeline. May or may not be the most probable, but this is one future potential timeline. How this will, shall we say, play out. That he is deceased already and has been for maybe not a long time, a few days, maybe weeks even, one moment. No more than a month. Perhaps about the time when this board took over. It is possible he was, shall we say, executed for very unpleasant crimes. One moment. But again, this is simply one possible future timeline. And the idea of his death has not been announced or will not be announced yet for a little more time, quite some time. And they may let this board sort of go on indefinitely, sort of holding the place of the Pope. Because at this point, there's no need to replace him. And they know this. And they're terrified. Terrified. One moment. Did you have another question?
You mentioned they're terrified. Do they have everything under control?
Are we speaking of the Vatican? The Popehood? One moment.
Yeah, well, it runs like a business, right?
Right. Well.
Well, is everything revamping?
Well, now, Marla, if we may, you do understand, yes, well, it is run like a business in the business way. You understand their business is not what it seems to be. One moment. Does this make sense in your language?
So you're telling me that their business is not Christianity? Or is? Is their business Christianity, true or false?
In the way that you mean, yes. Most of them do not understand what they're actually teaching and pontificating. Does this make sense?
Yes.
They truly believe that they've found the way, they have the way, and do believe this way.
So, and that's the business that I'm speaking of.
All right.
So thank you.
All right.
If there's anything else that you wanted to share that we haven't asked.
We thank you for your time, Marla. We thank you enormously. One moment.